John, I'm always so fascinated about your just background in general. Like everything, I find myself just kind of staring at whatever's going on behind you when I'm not
Okay.
talking,
Okay.
and I have
I can offer
questions.
context on anything.
Yeah. So, first of all, why does the light strip only go to his hand on the cutout and not all the way down? Is what bothers me the
Because
most.
it's where it ran out.
Mm.
So it starts in this corner of the room and goes around the ceiling. And then we could have run it along the top of the ceiling or down the wall, but down the wall kind of gives more backlighting
Oh no, your
directly.
lighting is superb. I just didn't know if there's a reason his hand is glowing. Like,
No, it just ran out.
okay. Let's see. What else? Uh, what is that big ass pop thing back there?
This one,
Yeah.
that is a special edition 10-inch Boba Fett.
How much did that cost you? Or would you rather not say?
I actually don't remember because I had
That's not
traded a
good.
bunch of other shit. It was at a comic book store and I had traded a bunch of other shit in and they were like, "Do you want store credit or have you spent it in your head already?" I was like, "Oh, I've spent it in my head already."
Okay. Um, no further questions at this time.
Okay.
Wait, is that a second webcam behind you?
That's a third webcam actually.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
I've never seen
come
you
in, come
use the
correct.
third. Like, I've never seen the extra webcam angles.
Do
when
it, John. Do it, John.
I
Flip
can't I can't do it right now, but what
He
it
has no
is, it's in
pants
a
on.
ha, no.
Now you
I
have to do it.
I have it, so it's back there and I have it in my starting soon scene in OBS and in my BRB screen. So it looks back at my computer, so it kind of like sees what I see. But it's also like, oh, we could tell he's like getting ready to actually start stream, but he wanted to go ahead and go live.
One more follow-up question. Do you ever accidentally clothesline yourself on that cable to that camera?
No,
Like, do you
because
forget it's there and then, like,
Yeah, I see it drift
walk into
across,
it?
like,
Yeah.
so I
neck
need
height.
to I have a cable hider. But the end of I actually just swapped out the webcam I'm using in Discord with that one, and the one that's back there now has a like a bulb or something near the
Mhm.
end of it because it was like a $15 Amazon webcam, so it's not great.
Oh, hey, thanks for the follow, man. Thanks,
And
Ganku-kan? Right? Am I reading that
Gank,
right? Ganku-kan.
are you here?
Thanks for the follow, buddy. I'm assuming that's someone in your chat.
He is a very good streamer friend of
Oh,
mine.
hell yeah. Well,
He's
welcome,
actually
dude.
he joined the Space Station Gaming socials team today,
Hell yeah.
which is a fucking dub and a half.
All right. Travis, do you have any questions about John's room while we're grilling him?
Let me look
Any
at this.
observations?
So why Captain America?
Gank, feel free to join in. We're picking apart John while we kind of wait for the stream to start.
He was so Travis. Do you know the Great Escape store next to the movie theater here in town?
Yeah.
He was there sometime around Thanksgiving, and he was like $15.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, a cardboard cutout of Captain America for $15. Yes, that was not a question. It was going to happen.
Like,
I
why
tell
not?
Travis this every time he brings up my cardboard cutouts, since he has two. They have a Slave Leia one that you should just get and hide in your house somewhere until Lori finds it.
No,
I'm
I'm
pass
gonna
on
get
that
it
one.
and just start putting it outside of like Travis's windows. So he'll like go out, look out the window, and just be terrified,
I'm like, what the hell?
but also slightly aroused. Okay, NSC time. Um.
All right.
Oh shit. Okay, let's get into it, boys. Not a lot of happy this week. Some happy, not a lot of happy. Travis, I know you kind of sent a couple thoughts on stuff we should cover. I guess let's go straight into it. Do you? Yeah, you said you want us to focus on the cup right now more than the regular season. Explain yourself. Why?
Well, I had like four main reasons when I was thinking to myself this morning.
As one
So,
does.
yeah, typically like you're getting in the shower or whatever. So, one, it's silverware, regardless of the fact, you know.
Yeah.
It's that's my one reason. One of my reasons. It's silverware, and I think we could all appreciate any type of trophy we would get during the season. Two, it's probably the easiest path to silverware we have this season.
Yeah.
Looking at Supporter Shield, probably out of our reach right now.
Yeah.
MLS Cup, we're in the West. We're probably going to have to go on the road at some point during the playoffs, and travel is already really hard on teams. And the fact that we travel the most across any team in the league, probably I think across the world, when you calculate how much travel we have, that's going to be really hard on teams too, on us as well. The cash prize, for what I heard was
Of course. Sorry. Louisville fan jumped in and said easiest path, question mark, question mark, question mark.
When I say that, all due respect, right? Listen, MLS teams are supposed to beat USL teams. That's why it's celebrated so much when USL teams beat MLS teams, right?
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's just funny that he joined in on that statement.
Welcome. But I respect Louisville. Louisville's the best USL team across the board, and they've consistently been the best, right?
Yeah.
But you're supposed to beat them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we will. We may go out there and just lay an egg like we did against Houston. Y'all beat us.
Hey.
It's the easiest path for us to get a trophy. My third reason was the cash prize. What I heard, it's not too far off from what you get from winning the MLS Cup. So it's not like a huge difference from hold on, let me close this door.
You're good. Thanks for the follow. Can't see the name, sorry. Nick Smo. Thanks for the follow, man.
But the cash prize itself isn't too off from MLS Cup.
Oh, it's a
which
D.
Is,
whatever. Thanks
so
for the follow.
you get the money from getting a trophy, and that's a win-win, whatever. My fourth reason is it qualifies you for CONCACAF Champions League. And that's really the end goal when you win a trophy in this league, whether it be Supporter Shield, MLS Cup, or Open Cup. You get into Champions League where you get to play the Liga MX size. It's where you get your brand exposure, per se, with your team because you're playing against other teams from different countries.
So I guess my question to you is, would you rather have an Open Cup trophy or an MLS Cup trophy?
I think it depends. I mean, if we were top half, like the top end of the table, top three, and it looked like we were going to contend for it, where I can say, you know what, there's no doubt in my mind right now that we could win MLS Cup.
Yeah.
Right now I have doubts. We don't really have that much talent depth. There's a drop off in certain positions.
Rude.
Gary said in his press conference, he doesn't have squad depth.
Aaron wants us to all remember that Atlanta United has won trophies, and history started when they won their MLS Cup. So, let's make sure to say, yes, Atlanta. We know.
So Atlanta hasn't beaten Nashville since 2020, and Nashville leads the series against them with 3 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. Therefore, us owning Atlanta means we own their trophies. So
we won those trophies.
So we own them, but so
Nashville SC beat Seattle this season. Seattle won CONCACAF Champions League.
Yeah,
we won CONCACAF Champions League.
Basically.
Yeah,
that's exactly how logic works.
But going back to your question, MLS Cup or Open Cup, I think it depends on which one we're set up best to win. Right now, we're in the round of 16 in US Open Cup. We have a USL side, which, like I said, all due respect, we should win.
Yeah.
That would put us into the Elite 8 if you're going to go by March Madness or standards. We'd be in the Elite 8. We would play either Inter Miami or Orlando.
Blah. 2
teams that I feel that we can beat.
Yeah.
Then you look at our side of the bracket. You have New York Red Bulls, Charlotte, NYCFC, and New England, I think, that are left. All of those teams, I think that we can beat. 2 teams that I am afraid of in this tournament that's still left are LA Galaxy and LAFC, both of which play each other in the round of 16. We got played off the field against LA Galaxy.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, LAFC is pretty good.
Yeah, but you also have to look at context, though. If both of them are really high in the West, so if they prioritize,
that's what I'm saying. I'm afraid of them, but the thing about them, they do play each other, so one of them's gone regardless.
Yeah.
And then they're both really high up in the West. So are they going to risk dropping out of their high seed, which they want to clinch a playoff berth, which gives them a home field advantage spot. So I'd rather focus on U.S. Open Cup when you look at the context of where we're at, who we play, our path to the Cup, rather than MLS Cup where you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We finished top 3 in the East last season, beat Orlando, and then bottled it in penalties against Philly. And Philly thought they had it, and their whole team got COVID basically, and they had to fill their Philadelphia Bethlehem Steel side against NYCFC, and they lost in the Eastern Conference final.
Thanks for the follow, Lucina.
They lost to them because they had to basically put their reserves out there. So you don't know what's going to happen with MLS Cup. It's so far off too, because you got the entirety of the rest of the season. We might not even qualify for playoffs. I hope we do.
Thanks for the follow, Public's finest. Sorry, we're getting a bunch of follows right now.
No, you're good. There's no guarantee we'd make the playoffs. But right now, there is a guarantee we're in the round of 16. So I would say get us an Open Cup, because you can have 2. You can get both if you wanted. But I think
you can dance if you want to.
You can dance if you want to.
Okay, so this Gary's not thinking about what I'm about to say. Gary is not thinking about. I would be shocked if he is. But from my background's in marketing, it's just what it is. From a club standpoint, from like a marketing standpoint, it's almost like this year, right, is a hard like reset. We had the first year that like we started off, it was a big bang with the game against Atlanta. Then COVID happened and kind of died off, right? Last year was the first year we had fans back in the stands. It's kind of slowly started growing. That felt like a second restart. This year feels like the true starting point for the club, where we're getting everyone in the city talking about it. People are going to games for the first time. And as the entire time you were talking about that, the marketing side of my brain's going, okay, it's a hard sell for new fans to be like, who have no idea what an Open Cup even is, to be like, why are we focusing on this tournament where we don't have a lot of attendance until near the end of it, and it's not the regular season, and it's not a championship for the league? I don't understand it. Why are they playing bad in this stretch? It almost kind of tarnishes the product a little bit for the average fan, right? I think y'all's cameras froze. Okay, cool.
I mean, I also just wasn't looking.
Yeah. No, it literally froze. But it feels like it's hard to sell this to this group of new people that are coming in. And that's just kind of where my mind went immediately. I don't know if that's going into play at all. But I feel like there's a lot of education that has to go on around Open Cup to our fan base, because I can't tell you how many people I talk to that like they just don't understand it, right? Like it's their first time engaging with soccer in any facet, and they just don't get it. Like Ian went on 1025, I think, and was talking about the Open Cup game. It was talking about how they're only opening up the bottom bowl and there won't be that much attendance, or there won't be as high of attendance, and yada, yada, yada. But was talking about how it was a big deal. I was listening to that, and then he got off, and I listened to the next segment. My dog is freaking out on my bed.
Hi, Marley.
Do we see this on camera? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's flipping out, dude. What's up, Marley?
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Hi.
Saw his little legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Tell us how you feel. Yeah?
Marley feels threatened by the idea of Paco.
He's really mad you're talking bad about the Open Cup right now.
Hey, okay. Kennel, go. There, Kennel. Go. Vamos.
So I had a little bit of the same conversation with some of my coworkers at work last week, and the concept, like the concept of a cup competition, is very foreign in American sports. So I mean, before we went live, Travis and I were talking a little bit about our European teams.
Oh, hey, thanks for the bits, by the way. Who was that? Public's finest. Your boss.
The idea of a cup competition is not foreign to us, but like the idea of explaining it to an American audience is a little bit tricky, because it's like if you take, I mean, Travis referenced the NCAA tournament earlier. It's like if you took the SEC tournament and had it during the season,
Yeah.
but also with like high school teams.
Yeah. And again,
So
this has nothing. I doubt that Gary Smith is thinking about this, and if the only way it would play into anything he does is if the club came to him and be like, "Hey, let's focus on the regular season,"
trying to get
which I don't
silverware.
think they're doing. But it's just an immediate thought I had personally. I think now that we won this first game, I think against Louisville we'll probably see a similar lineup. And then after that game, go for it. Like all in, go for it. If we beat Louisville, go for it.
Okay.
But
So my concern with that though, and this was my question for the Club and Country mailbag this week too, is if Gary does decide to prioritize Louisville next week, which of the 2 games this week is going to look like shit?
not Atlanta.
Well, there's no guarantee that we're going to look like shit. There's
Well,
teams that do the dual competitions and they look good regardless. And I think honestly, when you say look like shit, we look like shit because we mass subbed. We didn't do the typical 2 or 3 people out. We like changed entirely. We had 2. I swear to say 2 DPs out now. Well, all 3 DPs weren't starting.
Yeah.
If you want to tout Loba, but I think CJ's still better right now. But Zimmerman wasn't starting. Mukhtar wasn't starting. Those are 2 big pieces for us. You could tell our back line looked stagnant. They looked stiff. They got stretched out. Eric Miller got caught on the ball way too much. Dax even looked lost for some reason at points. We couldn't get a cross in to save our lives. Like Lovitz wasn't starting. We had Hawkinson that was basically invisible. Who else is up there? I never forgot him. Well, Zubac looked bright. CJ was doing CJ things, but they only work when Hani's in, apparently. So we had complete disconnect. There was no chemistry at all. So Gary even said it. A couple people played themselves off the field. Basically said, this is why some of these kids don't get minutes.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to say, we don't have the depth to do that. And so I think Gary realized the reason why we played bad. And it's funny because it wasn't like Houston dominated us.
No, not at all.
We had 2 horrible mistakes, which keeper, center, like I said, our back line got stretched on a lot of those. The keeper got caught one-on-one, PK, whatever. The first goal, I think we got dispossessed, stretched out, and Willis made a save, but we fell asleep back post. 2 mistakes on our half that led to goals. It wasn't like Houston had complete control of that game. We had our chances, but it was just zero creativity, 0 things going forward. So I don't think we play like shit if we focus Open Cup. I think we could focus Open Cup, and Gary realized, I can't mass substitute again like that. And he's going to manage minutes. And plus, you get Liao and Godoy back. That helps rotation.
Please.
Do it.
Please get Randall and Annabelle back.
Because they're going to be back along this stretch. And you're going to have them for rotation. Say you want to sit Hani, guess what? Liao slides into Hani's spot.
Yeah.
So you don't have to put Hawkinson. I love Hawkinson, by the way. But he's not a consistent starter. He's good. He'll come off the bench and do good for you, but it's almost like what happened to Juan Blana. He's got subbed in 1 game last season, did really well. Started the next game against Montreal, got subbed out at halftime because he was playing bad.
Yeah.
Hawkinson was invisible the next time he got a start, like after the Open Cup. So I think a lot of these people, he's going to learn how he can manage these minutes. And I don't think because he's going to go all out for the Louisville game that the next game after that is going to be like complete dog shit. I think he's going to realize I can't mass sub like I did and then manage that better.
Yeah. And I think when we have stretches of games like this where in league we have a bunch of games stacked on top of each other, right? I won't say no one. Most logical fans aren't expecting us to come out of this unscathed. It's just a hard stretch in the season. It's gonna happen, right? And then you have Open Cup games on top of that. You are not going to run our same starting 11 into the ground every single one of those games. So I don't mind having some of these younger players go in and play a half and then come out. right? As long as it's not like against Houston where we get down and then we can't do anything afterwards. But like instead of doing multiple of them, if we just get like, if we have Handawala Bwana in and then the rest of the lineup looks the same, then cool. And then the next game, maybe it's Hawkinson in and then maybe it's Zubac in and we switch it up. I'm fine with that. I agree with you, Travis, how we went like, oh, these guys played well in Open Cup. Let's have them all start in this league game, like the next match.
It's just way too many rotations going on, and that's you're gonna look horrible regardless of what team you are compared to it. Houston rolled their entire starting lineup they had from the Open Cup.
Yeah.
They went full starters, maybe outside of one person. We had like 4 or 5 different people out there, and it showed like as far as quality.
Well, and then just knowing Gary, just knowing how he's treated substitutions and lineups and player health and whatever through the time he's been here, he probably looked at the game versus Memphis and he's like, okay, we have 2 home games coming up. We just played an Open Cup match. This is a match on the road. He was probably going for a draw and wasn't. I mean, obviously you're upset when you lose, but probably was like,
it's how we lost.
We'll take the loss if we have to save the legs of players that are going to be important on this stretch. Now, like you just said, the way we lost, completely unacceptable. Even with a rotated lineup, even with say people had some minor injuries here or there, or just had dead legs. If you're up by a man for a full half plus another it was like 10 minutes, you can't not score a goal in that that stretch. You can't just lay an egg for the rest of the game. It's just completely unacceptable.
Yeah, that's why Gary tore into his players so much, because they got a red card in the 38th minute or something like that.
Yeah,
it was earlier than that. Yeah,
and we had the rest of the game. These players that he had mass subbed in had an opportunity to prove to Gary Smith, hey, you can sub me in before the 80th minute, and they didn't take their opportunity. They looked lost. Like at one point, they had no creativity.
Yeah, I agree with you that Hawkinson, who I'm usually very pro Hawkinson, pro him getting it. I'm a Hawkins stan.
Exactly.
I think we all are.
Yeah,
all 3 of us.
But like you said, invisible. Like I did not notice him do anything productive the entire first half.
I forgot he was on the field.
Well, it's because he didn't get his I'm Luke Hawkinson, I've been playing for 5 minutes yellow card.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
So Travis, I do have a coaching question for you about the red card. With the red card being before halftime, does that benefit the attacking team with having halftime to adjust, or the defending team with having halftime to adjust?
I thought what did the red card happen? I thought it happened like the 30th.
It was like the 37th, 38th, I think.
I'll pull it up.
What the hell is that?
Thank you for the bits. I don't know if the sound's coming through.
I can't hear it.
Yeah, it's so loud, dude.
Can you hear it?
I muted Twitch.
It's just like blaring.
Oh, I can't hear it.
That's really
It's
funny.
not coming through my headset, but that is awesome. Thanks for the bits and
Travis
scaring everyone else.
I said, ow, my ears.
That's awesome.
That's funny. Hey, if you want to donate, that's one way to do it. You'll scare everyone but me because it didn't come through my headset for some reason today. But appreciate it, man.
You said the coaching question. I think with it happening so close to the second half, that it does help more so the defending team to like, okay, how we're going to adjust and sub out and stuff. But the thing is, Houston came out the second half looking to attack. They said the best defense is a good offense, and they got us on a counter. They sprung forward. They threw numbers forward when they had the chance. And we got caught out and got a penalty conceded. But, I think it did help defensively for them to adjust. And also I understand Gary Smith not wanting to waste a substitute window by throwing Hani on in the 30th minute in the first half, because you don't know what's going to happen after that. You want to wait until after halftime and then sub on Hani. I thought probably waited a little bit too long on some of the other subs, like throwing in Lovitz, because Lovitz is a good cross on that left wing. And then I think we waited a little bit on Zimmerman too, and that's a set piece threat because we have several set pieces without Zimmerman on there. And
Mhm.
I don't know if you noticed, Zimmerman's kind of our main target on set pieces.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
surely not.
surprised. But I think out of all the I think out of all of our like players who started that game who looked solid, I'll say I think Mayer looked okay and Zubak looked okay. Everyone else I was really disappointed in. What are these alerts, man, on Twitch?
Can you hear them? I can't hear them.
I can hear them all. The Golden God.
What
But-
the hell?
Travis, is this your first time in the channel?
But also,
But no,
why?
it's the first time
Why?
being spam so much.
I don't know. Okay, weird. Somehow it's going just to Travis because it's not going to me.
I'm watching your stream thing
okay.
on Discord, so
Oh, they're going
there's
to the
some
Discord
comments.
stream and not Twitch.
yeah, there's some.
Oh.
That's what
There's
it is,
some-
because I still have a watch stream button in the call.
Yeah, I'm
That
watching the
makes
stream.
sense.
I'm watching the stream, and so I'm like hearing these alerts.
Okay, hold on.
Because
Y'all
I have
keep.
I have your Twitch chat pulled up.
Yeah, y'all keep talking. I think I could fix this.
But some of these
Okay.
comments are asking like, we have a comment. Good points. How do you feel about Zubak? He'll be back in sub roles, of course, but we can expect him to challenge star. Honestly, CJ's 34 or going to be 34. Zubak has looked impressive. He was trying things against Houston. It just wasn't falling for him, but he was doing back heels, 1-2s, and stuff like that you didn't really see from a lot of other strikers. And he's looked more impressive than Loba. And they're the same age, so it's not like one's younger than the other.
They're the same age, but they're completely different players.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like Zubak's type of player fits better in the system that Gary's trying to run. With Loba, he's not really that hold up guy. You see it, like he gets ran through a lot of times when he tries to hold up. Sometimes it's a foul, sometimes it's not. Zubak wins a lot more balls, I feel like, than what Loba wins. But that being said, on the counter, I feel like Loba's better because he's faster. He can turn defenders better. So they each have their perks. But from what I've seen how Gary's trying to play with their strikers, I do think that Zubak has looked pretty impressive, and I can see him getting some starts along the way. And I'm eager to see how he looks with Leal in that lineup with him and Mukhtar, them two working together. You're muted, John.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't hear you, dude.
Yeah, you're still muted. That's weird.
Oh. No, I was making sure I didn't mute you. No, you're still muted.
While John's trying to figure that
Yeah,
out,
man.
what's another? I guess it's Louisville fan. It says they had to rotate a lot in their squad after their Detroit game,
Yeah.
and they lost to the Galaxy reserves basically.
Yeah.
So
it's what any cup tournament in the world is, right? You're gonna have heavy rotation. It's gonna be, or any Open Cup tournament. I mean, it's just what it is. I don't know if I would go as far as you as saying we need to focus on Open Cup right now and then transition back to focusing on the MLS Cup afterwards. I don't know. Yeah, you're definitely still muted, Doug. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that.
Let me ask you this. Say we qualify for CONCACAF Champions League somehow.
Yeah.
Do you want us prioritizing that?
Yes, absolutely. And I know it's a little hypocritical based off of what I said earlier, where it's like kind of hard to explain to the casual fan.
They don't get attendance out there. Their attendance is very low too.
Yeah, but that I've thought for a long time that the CONCACAF Champions League should be a much bigger deal to fans in the U.S. and Mexico and wherever. That I mean, it's your chance to, one, be the best club in your region. Like, no other sport has this, right? And 2, for all the people out there, for all the radio hosts at an unnamed radio station, I will not say, who say, oh, it's not
Still
the best.
nothing.
Oh, yeah, we got
You're
you.
back. You're back. Hey.
Who say, oh, I won't watch because it's
No.
not the best. It's not the best league in the world. They're not the top talent. They're not whatever. That is literally your only chance to go play like Bayern or Barcelona or Chelsea or Liverpool or whoever else. And if we somehow get into that, hell yeah, I want them to prioritize CONCACAF Champions League. I want them to get to the point where they can say Nashville SC is the best in the region.
Yeah, I'll say, with it being a major cup competition, I look at U.S. Open Cup. It was one of the longest running cup competitions in the world, and it's
Thanks, Clay.
it's basically it's basically our FA Cup,
Yeah.
and you see how much attention the FA Cup gets in England, and that's why I'm so high on the Open Cup, because it is our FA Cup. It is our historic cup competition that's been around longer than the MLS Cup, and so it's something I prioritize as a person. I believe personally that Gary Smith prioritizes it. I mean, you look at the lineup he threw out against Atlanta, and it may have something to do with the competition you were playing, because it's our neighboring rival and stuff like that. So, but I do think Gary Smith looks at this cup competition like this is a way to bring a trophy to Nashville. I know the state's not very familiar with championship trophies or anything.
Shots fired.
I'm just saying, it's a fact.
My life has been nothing but sports pain, so I would enjoy a trophy.
You had the Vince Young game.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah, I was in middle school, so yeah, great. Middle school Brian got to watch Vince Young shit on USC, but other than that, my sports life has been nothing but pain.
So I think NSC going out there, and they get this cup. It's something to say, we brought a title back to Nashville. That's just one trophy. But soccer is about, filling their trophy cabinet, unfortunately.
And so
it's not just a team.
no, it is.
It's
I
not
mean,
just
that's
attendance,
we hear it every single week from teams that I'm not even going to go into it. My give a fuck on trophy talk is long gone. We can always say we existed before them, so
I think the trophy argument it's relevant to the conversation.
Oh,
if we're talking about the game we just beat you in, it's not relevant.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All the trophies are going to do to help you is to help you catch your tears because you're crying because you lost.
Yeah, I've said this.
We can also say we weren't named by a focus group.
Yeah, I've said this about Atlanta. I've said this about the Detroit Red Wings. I've said this about Chicago Blackhawks. I've said this about plenty of other teams that if we are talking about which club is bigger historically, which club has a better history, sure, bring up trophies because that is relevant to that conversation. But if you just got rocked by a team that doesn't have a trophy or has less trophies than you, it doesn't change the fact that you just got your shit rocked. Like, it's just what it is. Like, I'm sorry.
It's coping. So, I mean,
because I will talk shit all day long, but I will never talk shit in a way that can be thrown back at me. Like, if Nashville SC loses, 9 times out of 10, I either just don't say anything, or if someone comes back at me for something I said earlier, I'll be like, yep, you won. You got us. On to the next. Like, and I get there's fun in it and people are just messing around, but like, my God, it's so frustrating sometimes.
Brian, have you met Travis?
I continue talking shit.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I don't stop.
That's all Travis does.
A Houston fan said, "What do y'all's trophy cabinet look like? It looks like y'all's regular match day attendance." I got him pretty good, but I kept going back and forth with this one Houston fan. I don't think he understood how Twitter banter works because he was like really in his feelings, and it was kind of funny just to watch unfold. But that was his pretty fun night. Like I wasn't even upset about the loss. Like honestly, went into the Houston match thinking we're either gonna draw or we're gonna lose because I knew we were gonna heavily rotate.
Yeah,
I knew we were gonna go in there looking for a draw, and usually when we go in there looking for a draw, we end up losing. So
like, talking about the Houston game before we kind of close the book on that, what positives, if any, did you see during the game? And did you have any at all positive takeaways? It could be single player, it can be a collection of players, it could be something that happened, whatever. Were there any positives you took away? Because it's a bunch of negatives, and we've all aired those out. But what were any positives you may have seen?
I was really afraid of this question because I've been trying to. I think the biggest positive is Gary's give a shit meter. You can tell like it's there.
Man.
Yeah, like
His
he
press conference,
cares.
It was like that one parent that goes, "I'm not mad, I'm just," and it makes you feel like shit afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh my.
But they're also mad. They say, "I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed." But you can see the rage.
Yeah.
He's livid. I bet he's
Like,
tore
yeah.
into that team afterwards.
Oh yeah.
I will say Jack Mayer, 22 years old, is a stud, man.
He's class. Yeah.
He did good. He held that middle down in place of Walker Zimmerman.
Yeah.
He's not as fast as Walker. Walker's not that fast to begin with, but he can hold his own.
That was gonna be one of my notes. Is he played well, and even though we didn't see anything from it, even though we didn't get the goals we wanted or whatever, I maintain that Zubac he has an energy to him that is.
Oh, he looked confident.
It's just
he had this
different.
confidence. He looked confident out there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
And it's also there's at least 4 moments every game that I watch, especially when I watch on TV, where because at Geodis I sit so close to the stadium, you don't really see it as well. But watching on TV, there are multiple moments every game where you're just like, damn, Sean Davis.
Yeah.
His positioning is good. His pressures are good. Like
The thing is about midfield too, if you don't notice them, that's a good thing.
normal.
Because
Sometimes you
he's
can
like
be
a defensive midfielder. Now, if
Yeah.
you notice a defensive midfielder, maybe okay, he's like making slide tackle.
Mhm.
We didn't really have that do that as much because we held most of the possession in the second half. But the fact that we retained possession so well, it's because of him running through. Now we noticed that Dax a little bit because he got caught on the ball a lot in the first half and almost led to a direct goal. But Davis, he's consistently out now. He's been one of the more consistent players every game, and I have no complaints about him. But I will say, I think Mayer stood out the most. Then you have, I think Mayer, Zubac, then Davis, and I'll rate them as okay, and that's the highest rating I'll give any national player against Houston. So
yeah.
that's a compliment, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, the frustrating thing about the Houston game, let's not even take into account the red card, was, and I kind of, you know that feeling in a video game? I'm going to take this to video games because we're all nerds here. You know that feeling in a video game where you're losing, but you're like, we're better than this team. Like, we can beat this team. We've had a couple sillies. We had a couple mess ups. But if we get our shit together, we're going to beat this team. I felt like that all the way until like the 70th minute. And then hope just kind of left my body, right? But it felt like we should have won that game. I feel like, even ignoring that we're up by a man, like we did play bad, but there was times where I'm like, oh, it looks like they're building something. It looks like, they're starting to get their groove a little bit. They may turn something around, and then it just never happened. It never materialized. Also, Newt, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it.
Man, that game, like, I think at 75th minute after, you tell that players didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
They're like, we've tried everything. I mean, crossing the ball in 50 times in the second half, that's not trying everything, but you could tell that was the game plan. And at one point, I think Zimmerman got the ball. He threw his hands up because no one made a run.
Yeah.
They all stood still, like, are you going to cross it in? We're like, no, like, someone come to. Like, we looked out of ideas.
Yeah.
A lot of players looked exhausted. Like, they looked like they just played 120 minutes. I mean, because they did Wednesday. It looked like a team that just played that many minutes. And I'm like, damn, these guys are just tired. And at this point, they're chasing the game in Texas, which is, a lot of heat.
Yeah.
And I think
but it's also Texas in May and not Texas in, when's the Austin game, Brian?
It'll be a little cooler by then. It's in September, so it'll start.
September,
but
okay.
Cooler in Texas is like it'll be 89 instead of 104. So
yeah, it's still hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not blaming the heat at all. I'm just saying we looked exhausted. We looked out of ideas, and
thanks for the sub, Chase.
We looked like we just wanted to get out of there. Like, you know what? Let's just get out of here and go rest. But Montreal scares me next.
Okay, and we haven't talked about this. I have to bring it up. What the fuck was that ref's problem? Not even officiating. I'm not saying there was any particular bad call. It was like you sneeze a little too close to this man, yellow card. Like,
Dude,
Yes.
he gave out so many yellows to both teams.
I have
was
never
like, what the
seen
hell,
more uncalled for yellow cards in my life on both sides. Like, there was times they gave a yellow to Houston. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, there was
man?
the
That's not a yellow, but okay.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think I tweeted from the Roadies account one point, like, please keep getting yellow cards. But there was one particular play. I don't remember what happened, but there was like a kind of foul, and the dude on Houston stood up and started like talking to the ref, and he showed him a yellow. And then the goalie came over talking to the ref.
Yeah.
He was talking to the ref. It was the Houston goalie. Came over talking to the ref, and he just turned and gave the Houston goalie a yellow. And I thought it was funny because it's like better for us, right? But looking at it, as just a fan, awful. Like, what are you doing?
As a neutral, I could do with more of that.
I just
I-
laughed. There were
Because
there were 7 yellow cards and 1 red card given that game, by the way.
So it was. I remember the play because Luke fouled somebody, and it was a classic Luke Hawkinson. I've been playing 5 minutes. Where's my yellow card? Except he didn't get it. There were 2 yellow cards for dissent. It was to Darwin Seren and to Steve Clark, and the goalie ran 40 yards to get involved in a confrontation with the ref.
I mean, I guess
I'm completely on board with that.
He did run a long way, but I felt like I feel like that was the moment that I noticed it, and then every tiny little thing that happened that, like, yes, is a foul. Like, sure.
Yeah.
Every single
after-
thing was yellow.
After
yellow,
that, it was
yellow.
absolutely Pringles. It
Yeah.
was once you pop, the fun don't stop. Yellow.
But it was insane. And like,
It was pretty funny.
I'm
Not
all
gonna
for
lie.
the other team getting cards. Like, great. But looking at it, it's like, we got a bunch of cards that probably should not have been cards, and so did they. And it's just annoying as a fan to watch. Like, I don't know. You can go a little too hard on being an overzealous ref, I think we found that out, because that was not fun to watch. And it was frustrating because every good tackle or every hard challenge, I'm like, here comes a yellow. Like, I couldn't celebrate something good happening because I was like nervous that, like, oh, here comes a yellow for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, and even with the red, when they went to VAR, it's like, well, the threshold for clear and obvious, like, that's a judgment call, and that VAR official said your judgment was bad.
Yeah.
So even that, and he had I think this, what I said in Discord was, he had the cojones to stay with his call.
Yeah.
So, like, I respect that, but, like, someone already thought you did a bad job.
Yeah.
What's the
that
fact
person was your
if
peer.
he called a red? It's the fact that he called a red and VAR. He took so long deciding.
Mhm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
it's clear. It's not clear. Okay, clear and obvious decision is like overturning this, but it's not clear and obvious because you're taking so long. You got to stick with the call you made.
Yeah.
And so, but he stood there for a while. I'm like, is this getting overturned? I thought it was getting overturned for a long time, but how long he was taking sitting there?
Do you guys think
What-
it was a red?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
There's
think
the-
it's
I think it
I
was a
think
red,
it's-
but I think it was a soft red. I think
it's a soft red because he came in recklessly. He had his studs up. He barely
he
caught.
didn't though.
He had his studs coming up. Like it
No,
wasn't
they
like,
were-
up like this. It was
He had his foot. His
side,
foot was turned down. Yeah.
but he still came through
It-
Will
at-
recklessly.
No, it's
in dangerous-
orange.
Yeah.
at
It's
the
orange.
time.
And if a ref calls it a yellow, it doesn't get VAR to a red. And if
Yeah.
a ref makes it a red, I mean, it did get VAR'd, but it didn't get changed to a yellow. Like
I think-
that's an orange card. It's a judgment call. It is what it is.
I think the judgment was by how recklessly he came through, and the fact that it was on Alex's plant foot.
Yeah.
His plant foot came down, and his foot
Yeah.
maybe tilted down, but his studs came onto a plant foot, which Alex all of his weight was on. That could have ended horribly for Alex.
I agreed that it was a red. Like, I thought it was a red, but watching it, and especially watching the replays afterwards, I was thinking to myself, like, another ref would have just given a yellow. Like, it just, that call, that red to yellow or yellow to red transition entirely depends on what ref we had. If we had the ref from the last game, it was a yellow, right?
Yeah.
But because this guy is card happy, granted, deservingly so in this situation. But because this dude's card happy, he just pulled out a red right off the bat, and then we saw him, start making it rain on the field afterwards.
Well, I think the judgment on that was the fact that the defensive player didn't have to slide tackle.
This is the meme machine moment of the match. By the way,
Ooh, meme machine.
is this red card?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the fact that the defender didn't have to slide tackle to get to that ball, but the fact he came flying through with no control, which influenced the ref, like, okay, that's a red. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, I saw him come through on the tackle. I was like, what is this guy doing? Like, he had plenty of time to react to step in front of that ball. Instead, he comes sliding, tackling in, and almost he could have broken Alex's ankle the way he tackled.
Do you want to know the most impressive thing about the immediate aftermath of the red? The little dance move that the Houston left back had. Like, he went and he broke it down real quick. Like, he did the surrender cobra and a little like knees move. It was nice. Like, go back and watch the replay of that. It's pretty clean.
I think my meme machine moment was Alex doing step overs and then him losing the ball himself. He did a step over, and I think he looked behind him thinking that he pushed the ball back, but he was still standing over the ball, and the defender just poked it out. I said, dude baited his own self out. And I said, I love Alex, man, but he cannot keep doing these step overs because he loses the ball every time. He did it against Atlanta. He tried to do a step over and hit the ball with his own foot and went out of bounds. I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Travis, I will not allow you to slander the Manhattan Messi.
I love Alex, but
he's great. Honestly, he should have had so many more goals this year than he's had.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's hit off the post like 5 times in the past 2 league matches, other than Houston, obviously.
He's just pure entertainment when he's on the field because you don't know what he's gonna do.
Okay,
it may be a stupid mistake, but it could be he almost scored a banger or whatever, you know.
I have one last thing to say about the Houston match, and I am gonna call some people out.
Do it.
And know when I do this, it's not one of you two. Maybe I don't know. I'm not like your mom. Like, I don't look at every tweet you make. Look, when I say this, I say it out of love. Some of y'all are unhinged. I saw tweets during the game saying like, "Screw getting a right back. We need to get rid of Joe Willis."
Oh my gosh.
What?
Yeah.
You want to get rid of the dude who's had the most shutouts in the past 2 seasons and is by and large done fine. He had one oopsie daisy this past game. I think you're allowed an oopsie daisy every now and again as a goalie.
He had an oopsie daisy that they talked about on instant replay, and they said, "There's not an angle that proves there was contact. There's not an angle that proves there wasn't contact. And it stays as it's called."
And then one more unhinged. I saw a couple of these unhinged posts was people saying that Dax is bad. Dax was bad that game, but by and large, Dax is one of our more sturdy, like, reliable players. Dax is like very much a good player on this team. Is he old? Yes. Does he need to have someone kind of in his shadow to bring in when he inevitably retires? Yes. But I have no problem with Dax. Did he play like total doo-doo balls this past game? Yeah, he was a doo-doo balls boy this past game. But in general, I'm okay with Dax. So just before you tweet something, and this goes to me too. Before you tweet something, just think about the past few games and not what's happening directly in front of your eyes.
Reactionary.
Yeah.
Okay. Dax has been out and out one of our best players in past 3 seasons we've had this team. If you say Dax was the worst player on the field, or you say we need to get rid of Joe Willis after one bad game, your opinion does not matter anymore. You're reactionary. I'll stand by this. You can unfollow me, you can block me on Twitter. I do not care. You're wrong, and you should feel bad.
Travis is an expert. He was threatened with being banned from the NSC.
What did you do? I saw that tweet today. What? No, I know. I'm not saying what do you do in general. I've known you for a long time. I know who you are. What did you do today? What the fuck did you do?
What I do today? I didn't do anything.
It was just
whenever they threatened to ban you, what the fuck did you do?
I posted, that meme of the kid on the bus? He's froze. He hasn't moved in 40 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
I have a picture of Gary Smith just standing like this. and it's a picture of him. He's froze. He hasn't moved in 40 minutes. And I said Gary out, and I posted it to the Facebook group. And one called me a W with the anchor emoji.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was so good.
That's creative.
That
I've never
was
seen
so
that.
good.
I appreciate it. I had several posts calling for me to be banned. They said ban OP, ban OP. And I was like, they weren't even people with authority. They're just people who didn't understand. Like, I'm joking. And someone's
They're
like, "This was
the
at
rest of the
Jodas
comment
Park."
section.
Someone's like, "This is at Jodas Park. This is when we beat Atlanta. Why would you post this?" I was like, "Dude, shut up. It's a meme."
It might have been his first time on the internet. You don't know.
Yeah.
But they
What is a meme?
A May.
But no, okay. I want to say this.
Watch you whip.
Watch me, nay. Aki Lova. Everyone slanders him. I think we all know this, mainly because he costs $7 million.
He has the exact same thing happening to him that happened to John Deere. Can't change my mind.
Well, I will say this. No, here's the. I think he's young. Yeah, he's 24 years old. He's still adapting, and the fact that his price tag is so high, I think we overpaid personally because I don't think he was ever worth that much to begin with.
Yeah.
Even before the hype. People's takes after the Houston game, all I saw was Loba's bad, get rid of him. And my thing is, if your take from that Houston game that Loba was bad and not everyone else was bad, you just have an agenda.
Yeah.
Everyone was bad.
It's very easy.
Loba coming on, who's still trying to find his feet, still trying to find chemistry, and you think he's going to be the reason you lose? Keep in mind, we're already down 2-0 before he even came on.
Yeah.
I don't understand that slander.
It's incredibly easy to point to the highest paid player that hasn't delivered anything. So, because he hasn't, we can say he can be good, he is good, whatever. He hasn't delivered anything. That doesn't mean he won't be good. There is plenty of players in MLS who have started off being meh and then broke out. But it's very easy to point to him. And there's all, like I said, he hasn't done anything. He's a striker. He has to score. I get it. But it's sometimes there's just bad games, man, and you don't need to find one person to blame it on. Like I did not move to the Western Conference and think, yeah, we'll win every game. Like that's not how it's gonna work. And I did not move to the Western Conference with this crazy stretch of the season we're in, plus Open Cup, and think, yeah, we'll come unscathed from some of these road games. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna drop some games you should have won. You're gonna win some games you probably should not have. And that's just what the season is. Overall, I think we're fine. We were, until this last game, I think at the exact same place we were points-wise a year ago. And look how that ended up. I don't think it'll end up as well this year, but you never know. Let it play out.
We're on the same spot. We're very close to where we were.
Could I interest you in a dream?
Sure.
Where we get an attacking right back who is also a functional defender. So we could play a back four, and we could do a 4-2-3-1 with a front four of CJ, Randall, Hani, and Akeloba.
Does this man start with an S and end with a more?
I'm sorry?
Start with an S and end with the Ackmore.
I don't know that I
Shaq Moore.
Oh, well, we have Shaq less, so I mean
we're currently Shaqless, yes.
I haven't seen Shaq Moore play enough with the US to know whether I think he's a Gary Smith defender or not. But
he's basically Dan Lovitz, but better.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think he is.
He gets up and down that field. He can send.
I'm gonna need to see Shaq Moore host between two posts before we can make that judgment.
I feel like Gary Smith is having wet dreams about this next window. So.
But no, I think I just had an issue with the slander of Loba, who didn't come on to like past the 75th minute. Yeah. It's like, dude, we had 70 plus minutes of time being up a man to score. It felt like no one could shoot, dude. I felt like every shot we did was over the crossbar. I'm like, can no one shoot right now? Like, Zubak had some chances. Sapong had chances. Hani had some chances. Okay, I have one issue with Hani. I'll say this. Loba got a perfect ball into the box, settled it. Hani stole it from Loba. And Loba just threw his hands up like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
I had an issue with that. I'm like, dude, let Loba turn and shoot, man. But
so, as a reaction to that moment, would you want to see in the game? Because Hani inevitably has to be rested, right? He's not going to play 90 every game for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Would you ever want to see Ake play as that free flowing 10?
Sure.
I would like to see if he could do it. Do I know that he can? I mean, there's one way to find out, but I'm not.
Yeah.
If you ask the question if I'm confident, no. Am
Well,
I
right
willing
now-
to find out? Sure.
I'm willing to find out because right now, without Leal, the only other option was Hawkinson, and
Yeah.
we
Well,
didn't
he
know
doesn't.
he was
he
on.
ju-
He was invisible the entire first half.
Yeah.
So
Well, and you know, Ake doesn't have the physical profile to be a Gary Smith 9 because he's
Also
not
not
going to
the
win
best-
long balls and do hold up.
I don't think he's the best ball distributor either.
well, I'll defend that.
Yeah,
lot of
someone in
those-
chat
not-
agrees
not-
with me.
Not full defend. Loba's a lot of his passing comes off of him being that hold up guy.
Mhm.
He'll have a defender on his back. He's receiving the ball. He wants to lay it off. He's not that guy. And I think when he gets bodied from behind, it throws him off into a hit a pass a lot of times. But the
Yeah.
times I've seen him pass really well, it's when he's running at a defender. He already don't have anyone on his back, but he's running at the defender. He's able to lay a through ball off or something like that. And I think if he's that free flowing 10, like Hani, I think he's going to have more of those situations rather than what CJ is when he's having a defender on his back, having to hold up play, lay it off, or whatever. And I think those are does he need to improve that? Yes, he does. You can't just not have that in their arsenal. But I think him moving that position, he won't necessarily be put in those type of different passing situations because he's going to be that free flowing guy and not have to see someone on his back applying pressure to him. Now he is young. He will get better, but I think it's different positions will be different situations. Is his passing perfect? No. But I think with him running at people, it's better than him holding up someone, you know? But
Yeah, for sure. Man. I don't know. I had nothing else to say about the Houston game. I want to quickly touch on, I guess, the upcoming matches and what you guys think. And I know we've kind of talked about it a little bit.
Will you shed a single solitary tear Wednesday evening?
Oh yeah, I will. I will be. I'll be bummed out that our weatherman's no longer with us, and I don't think he was with the team long enough to warrant like a thank you video sort of thing. He might, but he will definitely get a big round of applause from the back line, and hopefully he comes over and says hi.
I mean, he will to Steph and Anna at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he scores, he's dead to me. So, yeah.
Montreal scares
That's
me.
funny.
I think if anyone could get a win at Geodis Park, it'll be Montreal.
Dude, I just
their past 9 games, they've not lost any. They've won 6 of their last 9. They are on a tear right now. But I will say this: MLS is built on parity, and no one goes undefeated in this league, no matter how hard you try. And I do think Geodis Park is one of the hardest places to play. I think just coming to Nashville in general and playing Nashville at home is one of the hardest things to do. And I think they could lose. I think Nashville could get a win against Montreal. And I think it could be something that just kickstarts this team and gets them ready for Atlanta on the weekend.
I think the biggest variable to me on how the Montreal game is going to go from a Montreal perspective is Romel Kyoto.
He went down, didn't he, with an injury?
And that's the thing, is if he starts or if he gets any like actual minutes, he's going to outpace everybody Nashville has at the back. That's his entire game.
Yeah.
But outside of him,
He can't finish.
I mean, obviously there's Georgie, and Georgie is one of the most threatening players in MLS right now. But Nashville's been playing against MVP finalist Hani Mukhtar in practice for 3 years. So they're similar enough players. I feel like they can adapt to Georgie better than a lot of other teams can.
I think we have a better midfield to guard Georgie too. And I think Godoy probably will be back by now. Then you have Sean Davis, McCarty, or Godoy to help guard Mihalovic.
Mhm.
And he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. Then behind them you have Walker Zimmerman, right?
Yeah.
I think that helps. I am worried about the pace they have with Kyoto, but he also isn't the best finisher. I do think Sapong could really do something against their defense, though. With his just size,
Yeah.
he's so awkward to guard just because he's fast and he can get up. He can
Well,
definitely.
and the other thing too, their goalie, if they, I think it's Pantemis has been there.
I
No,
think it's
Breza. They've been playing Breza.
yeah. Pantomis is probably I
Um,
think starting now because didn't Bressa
Neither
go
of
down
them
too?
are really confident in the air. Like they punch a lot of things they should catch. I feel like as a goalie at this level.
And Hani,
So
I think he's
shots, everybody,
what
shots.
shot. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we need.
I think Hani actually he's one of the top. He's in the top half of shots on goal per match when it comes across the league, and I think eventually because he has a high xG.
Mhm.
I think Ben tweeted this out. He had what like top 4 highest xG, but he only has 2 goals in a season.
Yeah.
So I think eventually those shots are going to fall, and if you're consistently shooting against a keeper who's not so confident, one of them is bound to go in, whether it be a complete howler from the keeper or it's just a pure goal, you know? So I think Wednesday is going to be a very good game. I fully expect Montreal to come in looking for the win. I mean, they did that
Mhm.
against Charlotte. They beat them 2-0 when Charlotte was at home. Um, they're a very confident team. Wilfred Nancy is a good coach.
Oh yeah.
So I think he's going to have them ready. I think they're going to try to go for the win. I mean, why not? They're number 1 in the East right now.
Yeah.
I think 20 points.
So what do you guys think? Final score. What are you thinking?
I think 2-2.
I was gonna lean 2-2, but it's gonna be a 2-2 that feels like a loss. It's gonna
Yeah.
be we're gonna be up 2-1,
Up
and they're gonna
2-1
get a
and
goal at the
concede
end.
late.
Yeah.
I say
Yeah.
2-1
I'm
win.
completely on board.
2-1 win. Loba at the death.
Oh God,
Wow.
I would love it,
Travis
dude.
being the optimist of the
And,
three
and
of
it
us. What a
sparks
role reversal.
confidence in the young man.
I'd be
I
all
tell
for it.
and make it even more specific. He turns Wayama, their big dog in midfield. He absolutely torches his ankles on a turn with a through ball from Hani.
Okay.
Okay,
And
let me tell you
I'm
what.
being specific.
Let me tell you what. If your situation plays out, my prediction for the Atlanta game is a Loba hat trick. If
Honestly,
what you say happens, Loba hat trick versus Atlanta.
Loba probably should have scored against Atlanta in the Open Cup
Yeah.
when he got that penalty called. He
Oh,
probably
yeah.
could have taken that shot, but he felt contact goes down. You know, I would
Hey,
too.
team player. I mean, that got us a goal, so I'm all about
Yeah.
it.
I didn't watch that PK, by the way. I can't watch any more.
I
national
didn't.
PKs.
No.
I
PK's
looked away.
hurt me.
I looked away when Leal scored his PK against Philly, and I looked away against the Hani PK. I can't watch it. My heart can't take it anymore, and I hate PKs.
See, but the thing is, though, Travis, we still have to pay attention because if they score at the supporters' end, they run to the corner.
Oh, I
They
just,
run
we
to
still
you.
we have to pay attention. They run to us.
I watch the crowd react, then I react. If we
Yeah.
celebrate, I turn around and go, "Yay, we scored!" Like, don't talk to me.
Cool.
But-
Awesome. Well, hey, I think it's a good kind of wrapping up point. We'll obviously be back next Monday. We don't have a name yet. We might by Monday. Who knows? Thank you for jumping
Next
into
week
what is
on
now the
Dragon Ball Z.
unnamed NSC show and possibly something else by this time next week. Yeah, we'll be here most Mondays, hopefully, around 8:15 if I have technical issues. And appreciate you guys jumping in. Any last words, boys?
Yeah, Louisville. I will be in you for the Open
Hot.
Cup.
Hey,
Hot.
Brian, are you going?
I'm going to try. I have team meetings in the morning, depending on when those end. And if I have much work the rest of the day, I'll drive up. So we'll see.
All right, I'm planning to be there as well. So going hopefully 3 for 3.
Cool. Well, hey, thanks for jumping in, everybody. We'll be back next Monday, and we'll see you later. Be on the lookout for more news about what the fuck this is named. Goodbye.